Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures, and today I'm starting my new project. So welcome along. It's going to be different. Definitely way out of my comfort zone. So hopefully it'll go okay. It's been something I've been thinking about for a few weeks, and it's finally, I really needed to get started, otherwise my head will explode. It all started with this Stamperia paper pad. So you've seen me use others and how much I love them. And I saw this one on Amazon in the 12 by 12. This is the 8 by 8. And I kept looking at it and thinking, I love that paper pad, but I can't think how to use it. Because the images in it that I love, that I really love, the great images that I will show you in a moment, are all full size, so full 12-inch height. And I knew that there was no way I wanted to cut it down to get it into a journal, and I was umming and ahhing what I could do, and I wouldn't let myself buy it until I got a plan. And then Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah, bless her, I happened to be watching one of her videos recently where she started doing a ring-bound journal. And I've never done one of those, and it was something she said she loves to do, and I just started watching it, and I thought, that's it, that's what I need to do. I need to do one of those because it would be perfect. And especially as about the same time I realised that there was an 8 by 8 version of the paper pad that I was looking at. And the two kind of came together in my head, and I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the 8 by 8 version of the paper pad that I've been drooling over and make myself a ring-bound journal. And I thought, well, that will be interesting because it's something I've never done. It might be something a bit interesting for you to watch, I don't know. Just a change from doing the traditional style of journal. So I was really keen to have a go, but I didn't really know how to get what I was going to do as far as ephemera and stuff like that, because it's so different. So I'll go through the paper pad and I'll show you the preparations I've made so far, most of which have come from Tina's video. So I will link that below so you can see where my idea came from. But it will be quite a different style to hers because this is a different style of paper. It's very different to anything I've used before as well. It's called Lady Vagabond. I don't know if you've seen it. So different to everything else that I've used. And I'll just quickly show you. And really and truly, this is the image that I fell in love with. First page. I just think she is beautiful. I love the colours. I love the style. I just think she's gorgeous. And I just wanted to do something, but as you can imagine, a 12-inch version of her, where was I going to put her in a normal journal? But an 8-inch version, because the papers be tricky to use in a traditional journal because you couldn't really fold them over in the way you normally would with a 12 by 12 and all that kind of thing. So doing it this way I think works perfectly. And it's all about travel. I had no plans to do a travel journal at all. I hadn't got any travel ephemera. Well, I've dug around and found a few bits from my scrapbooking days. So this is the back of the front page. So there's lots of things to cut out here, and this is all in I don't know what the style is. What era you'd call it. I'm just going to call it vintage, vintage travel, because my papers are from all over the place. So that's the first page. And then that's the back of it. Then you've got all these wonderful suitcases. What I love about this is, although it's quite vintagey, it's got colours in it that I can pick out and highlight, like in particular turquoise and similar shades. And there's a bit of sort of warm red here as well that could be used. So I'm loving that, and I can see I'll be cutting that out. But you can also use this. This is London. It's my old. It's like a line drawing of London, but it's from all over the place. And then this is another one. Isn't that lovely? I love that picture of her as well. And there's all sorts of bits behind her that can be cut out. There's a cat. He might make an appearance somewhere, not sure. And then we've got the big clock. Not quite sure how I'm going to use that, but who knows? It might make an appearance. And then this on the back of the other paper. So you can use both sides. And then there's lots of clocks on the back there. Then there's a newspaper background to this amazing flying boat, I suppose you'd call it. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I think that's just so glorious. It's a bit steampunky, I think, in style. Not that I'm going to go down the steampunk route, because that's just not me at all. But I can see that there is a bit of a connection to that, possibly. And there's a telescope there that can be cut out. Little picture of Big Ben here. Strange London. It's all basically around London. I hadn't actually twigged that it was mainly around London. I thought there were other countries involved as well, other cities. So there's some doors, which might actually, that's 3. They're all attached. Wouldn't that make an interesting flip out, a triple flip? Mama, I might do that. Getting out ideas as I go. And a map here. I've used lots of maps and things as backgrounds. I will be using. And then there's this picture of what that is. There's 12 miles around London. So this is all based around London. I hadn't even realised that. I could get I could get more things London-y if I have a look. Then there's these cards. I think they're journal cards, which are quite a nice size as well. And they're really gorgeous. And then you've got the writing space on the back of those. Then there's like a street version of old, it's probably Victorian, I guess, Victorian London. And another map on the back there. And then you've got some books, and you've got a back book cover and a load of books here. And then that can be used as you can double that over and make that into a little book, I should think. Might do that. And more books on the back. So thinking side tuck, something like that. You could cut. I mean, there's so many ideas for cutting these things out. Oh, I see. These are meant to be book covers as well. You could use those for journaling cards or decorate them up. Could be interesting. And then right at the back, there's a whole load of things to fussy cut. So, of course, I will be doing that and adding them to the journal. And they're ideal because for sticking in. And that's just the back page. So, yeah, so that's gorgeous. I love that. I just love it. I don't know why. I just do. So, I have been gathering things. I followed her in sort of her method for the pages, picked out some old scrapbook pages that I didn't think I would use, and this is what she did, and I've just done pretty much the same as she said, is that I've used old scrapbook pages that I don't really like, but used the kind of maybe the more neutral sides of them, and I did a big coffee dyeing session, so I cut them to size and folded them in half so they're ready folded. And then I coffee dyed them, so I did loads of coffee dyeing on one afternoon last week. Except this one. I'll show you. I'll talk about that one in a minute. So, and these two. So look, there's a load here. They're all fairly neutral, but they're all now looking quite coffee dyed, and most of it will be covered up anyway. So it doesn't matter if there's any pattern on there. And then I picked out a few that were kind of turquoisey, tealy coloured. And coffee dyed them as well, because that's going to be the colour that's going to come out. I think there's going to be a few colours I can pick out in here. I've just seen there's some purple as well, so it may not be just these colours. I'll see where I go. This is more of a grid. What else have I got? I think that's all the ones that I've used that I'm coffee dyed. Coffee dyed. Then she also suggested that if you have any that are a bit thin, because these were all quite thick double-sided scrapbook papers, if you've got any that are a bit thin, more papery, what she suggested to do, which is what I have done, is to still fold them in half in the same way, but then to decoupage over them with some sort of neutral papers. So I've done that on both sides of this one. I found an old piece of, in one of my, if I pick it out, I haven't used all of it yet, There's an old piece of map paper. It's 1783 piece of map paper. So I thought, oh, I'll use that. So I've just used some bits of it here and there on here, so that I don't feel I need to cover everything up then. So I've done a couple of those, and just really neutral with a few pops of blue here and there. And that one, not that one. And then this one was actually a scrapbook paper, which was a map, which I didn't even know I had. So I've cut that to size. Now I didn't really want, because it wasn't as thick as the others, I wasn't sure about coffee dyeing it in the dip method and then sticking it in the oven like I did with everything else. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is I saw her do, again, Tina, she gives you all these brilliant ideas. I did sort of do this on another video, and it's just getting a cup of coffee. I mean, this is not good coffee. This is horrible coffee. I wouldn't drink it. It's it smells like a cross between bad coffee and gravy. It's just horrible, but it was cheap and it's ideal for this purpose. So, and all she does, get a big paintbrush and paint over it. I never thought of doing that. I think it's a brilliant idea. For just, I mean, you wouldn't want to do everything. You want to do, I mean, the pile I did, because I did a whole load of copy paper as well. So I did a big pile of coffee dye while I was at it. Took me a whole afternoon. It's exhausting, just moving things around in the oven, trying to get them dry. I had a whole load of stuff hanging on my airer, but got there in the end. Some of them actually come out a bit darker than I wanted, but I've got lots to choose from now. So I don't know how that's going to dry, but hopefully it'll dry okay. Just try and give it a little vintagey look. So I'm just going to try not to put too much on. I think it's getting stronger the longer it's been in this cup. It was nearly full when I started. I think it's been evaporating and getting a bit stronger, a bit darker. So hopefully it's not going to be too dark. Right, so that's just painted on. I'm just going to leave that to dry over there. And then I saw her do her flip through of her journal. She didn't do many of her pages actually on screen. She did about three different videos on screen, and then she did a bit of a flip through. And when she did that, she said she actually also did a few blank pages. Oh, it's another one of the coffee dyed ones that missed. There's another coffee dyed one. So I took some plain white. It's not really scrapbook paper. It's the paper that they line the sleeves with when you go to buy a ring-bound album. Not ring-bound album. Well, any of the albums. But the post-bound albums, that's right. You get 10 plastic sleeves, and they always have a white sheet inside each sleeve. I don't know if you've bought them, but that's... and I've kept them all. They're 12 by 12 sheets. They're quite nice quality, slightly thick paper rather than card. So I just used those, folded them in half, cut them to size, and then I did the painting method and coffee dyed them with the paintbrush. And then when they were dry, I've sewn around them. I will sew around all of the pages, but after I've done some of the decorating. But these ones won't be decorated any more than this, because these are for journaling on. So I did sew around these. And then I did a bit of stenciling and a bit of stamping with some, a bit of a script. Got a script stamp. And so they're all slightly different, but similar. So again, you've got a bit of stenciling, a bigger script. Sometimes I've combined the two. Sometimes it's just one. Not that stencil. A bit of stenciling there. And I've used a bit of blue and vintage photo mostly, with a few little touches of the blue to bring that in. So that's that one. So I've just stamped on both sides of that one. And then this one has got a bit of combination of the two. Just to make it a bit more interesting, I might put the odd sticker or something on just to bring in the travel theme as well. See how I go. So they're just, I mean, they're pretty much finished really. I didn't think they'd be, I didn't know how they were going to go. I was just just playing around really. So I think they've turned out okay. So that's the papers, the pages. Now the decoration. So I hope this video doesn't go on too long, just talking about what I'm going to use. But I have been planning this for a little while, so I've been collecting things. So now I will link the kit. I can't remember who it's by. This is called Medieval Maps or something, not quite sure. But it's basically all map and travel themed. I had to hunt for anything travel themed in the way of digital kits, especially oldie worldy ones. So this is actually medieval, but I think it will still go okay with the theme. So there's that one. That one's just got a load of old letters. So you can see the medieval side of it, but I'm not sure I'll use those actual images, but I can use all the mappy bits because I should probably just collage a lot of this. And I do like this. This boat would make quite a nice image. And you've got all this, so I think adventure is out there, so I think all of that will work. And some of these bits are going to go quite well. It's a little bit on the yellowy side, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I shall try and concentrate on using some of the bluer backgrounds, and I'll combine it obviously with the paper pad, so we'll see how it all works out. And this one I like, the boat and the lighthouse and all sorts of things. And then there's this one. Some nice images here, nice travel images. So this is going to be a travel themed journal, although I hadn't realised that most of the Stamperia paper pad seems to be about London, which I hadn't really tweaked. I think there was a kit called Medieval London, so I might have to look that up and see if I can, now that I know there's quite a lot of references to London in the paper pad, I might see if I can have a look at that, and I might use some of that too. So this is actually it's an old version of the UK, I think, or England anyway. No, it does include Scotland up here. There's bits of Scotland up here, I think. It's very old looking map, so that's quite good. I might put that on one page. It's rather good. And then a nice world map as well. So it's Anglo-Saxon Britain. So yeah, I think that would be quite a good kit. And then there's a few pieces of ephemera as well, which need cutting out, of course. There's some envelopes, I think, and a small pocket. What's quite nice is some of these things are really quite small, and they'll fit quite well because the pages are fairly, well, I suppose about the size, similar size to what you'd normally use, but you don't usually work on them in this way. So it's going to be a bit different, actually doing the whole thing in one go. Creating the page and the background and all the ephemera on top. So there's another envelopes, another pocket, a whole bunch of journal cards, and some tags. So that's that kit, and I will link it. I'm sorry I can't remember the name of the Etsy shop I got it from. But then I went on to found also another Etsy shop where they did some ephemera pieces. So some of which I will use and some possibly not. But I thought they would be quite good as well. So there's a variety of cards, things that can be cut out and used as journal cards or just for something interesting to tuck in. Some of them possibly too modern. And then there's these ones. So there's the card here. They're like vintage postcards, I suppose, or something like that. So I definitely will be able to use some of these. Maybe not all of them will fit. This one is by Screech Owl Studio. It says so on here. But I can't remember what the other one's by. I do apologise. But I will link them as well as Tina's video below this one. Right, so that's those. What else can I show you? I've got a whole bunch of things in what I call my project box. I've just been adding stuff that I might use. I have just bought this, which I'm definitely going to use, the Tim Holtz collage paper. And this is the map one. So that's going to be really handy. So there, that's going to go. I'm going to probably make fairly good use of that. Look at that, it's gorgeous. So that'll be quite nice on here. So that's pretty much it. It's just going to be all about travel. And oh, I know I can show you as well. Wind this back up again. Shh. Put that back in the tube afterwards. The other thing I've got is I've pulled out a few bits and pieces that I had from, say, from my scrapbooking days, and I have coffee dyed a whole load of bits and pieces. They're still a little bit modern looking, but they're not. You know, it just dulls them down a bit and makes them a little bit more, possibly more usable. They've gone a bit curly, but I can flatten those out under some heavy things. But I also found I had this Spellbinders die, which I think it's going to be quite handy. Look, it makes really handy suitcases. I've just die cut a couple. I've got another couple that I've die cut, but I coffee dyed them and they're under the mat because they went all curly. So I'm trying to flatten them down. But you can see, I thought, well, they'll make quite good pockets. They're quite a nice size for pockets. The other thing I thought I could do, I went through some of my Tim Holtz people to see if any of them looked as if they might be travelling. And I found a few, not very many. But look, I thought I might just be able to sit her on there, look. Like she's sitting on the suitcase waiting for a train or something, I don't know. But she might make an appearance on one of my little suitcases. So anyway, so I've got a few bits and pieces, and a couple of people, and I've even got a little stamp set, and I don't know that I'd use much of it, but it says adventure. There may be something I can use there. My travel tale and things, I might be able to use those. Got a few stickers that may be useful, I don't know. So there we are, I've got a little box of bits and pieces. So I think I might just clear the decks a little bit and then make a start on one of these pages. It's slightly scary because I've not done one of these before, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'll be kind of winging it somewhat because this is all a bit different, but we'll see how we go. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've had a little think about where I'm going to start. I've just taken a random page, and I think I'm probably going to try and incorporate something from this pad on each page, but I'm not going to use her yet because I'm a little bit, I want to make sure I know what I'm doing before I cut that, because she was the image that got me started. So I think I'm going to go with the suitcases because I know I can use those, and I'm just going to take this page out. I think there's only one page. It feels quite thick, yep. And put that over there. Right, and then I've got some of this digital that I'm going to tear it. I'm not going to cover the whole page, but I'm just going to tear it out to start with at about that size. I want to use some of it. Ooh, don't want to tear the treasure chest down the middle, so I might want to use that. Right, so what I thought I might do, just having it going down the side here and across here. I'm just going to take out some of it. See if I can release Treasure Island without tearing it up. I only really want a piece going down the side. And the rest of it I want to use somewhere else. Right. So that bit goes there, on the side there. And I want to do this. I want to cut that out. What do I do with my scissors? There we are. Just cut down here for a moment. I want to use this as a side tuck. It just screams side tuck in my head. So it's a case of whether I can keep, because it's not straight there, I don't know whether to cut round the whole thing or just have it lined up there like that. And then actually I'm going to lose my sorry, I lose my what's it called? Lighthouse. If I have it going right up the other, because I've got to bear in mind there's going to be holes. So I don't want, unless I do it there, and it's not really a side tuck, is it? It's more of a down the middle tuck. It's more like a belly band than a side tuck. That's not really what I had in mind. So it might be better if I just take off this piece. How far up does it come if I do it there? And then I think I could still, so I have a template for where my holes are going to go. So I can see where they'll be. So I'll just nick the edge of that. That might be okay. And then all I need to do is put this piece across the top then, don't I? If I could. Can I have that piece just down the side, just as that, just to bring it in a little bit? I might just cut that little, just that little tiny bit there. Just a little decorative, because what I will do is I'll be sewing around it anyway, so this little piece will be sewn on, but it just brings the side tuck in a little bit from the edge. Might just do that and then put that there and this here. And then this will be here, upside down. Here. So I'll just cut around this. I think I'll cut it round with my other scissors. Oops, not those ones. 2 too many pairs to choose from here. These are easier for cutting round things. The big ones are good for straight lines, but for going round little intricate bits, these are better. The nice thing about this is you can make your pages, and then they're not in any particular order, and you just put it together in the order that looks best to you. So when it's finished, so you can just make them one at a time, and then put them together however you like, and then move things around. So I do like this idea. See how that looks. And then and I have things I can tuck in at the side there, then I've just got to cover this bit here. So I'll just stick these bits down as I go. And right, there we are. So it'd be good to get this started. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm really not sure. The other thing, just checking that this is the other thing that Tina said is best to try and do is have your the open edge, or was the open edge, on the inside where the holes are going to go, and have the folded edge on the outside. So I've tried to do that, or I will try to remember to do that. These at the top here. Sure it's not sticking out too far. Trim that little bit off. It's a little bit sort of bumpy, but no problem, no harm with a bit of texture. And then that would go like that, but I need something behind here first. So let's see what else I can use. Nope. I might just tear that down there a bit, I think. See how that looks. It says Journal of something or other. think I'll just put that there, but I'll take the map off because I'd like to use, I don't want to cut that up. Might use that on something else. So, pop that there. And let's see if I can find a little something for that corner. Let's try that. Use my little ruler just to take this edge off. Is that going to cover enough? I think not. I'm going to have a little gap now, that's not going to work. Okay, let's try this one instead. Too big now. And cover up the barrels without any problem. Might just do that. How far did it go? Just take that little piece off there. And a bit off the edge. I might cut that because I don't want to, just want to lose the white bit. Right, let's see how that looks. So I'll put that there. Still got a bit of white showing. I've got a bit too much of this one now, but we will see. At least there's no silly gaps. Okay, so I can just bring that in a bit there. Okay, I think we've got a page on its way. Right, I'm just going to do a little inking around some of the edges. Oh, that's going to disappear, isn't it, that piece? So I think it's only the top edge I actually need to ink. That there, I think it's going to be hidden, isn't it? Yep. So I'll stick that on. quite a relief to get started, really, because I couldn't picture this journal at all. I couldn't picture how it was going to look. I like to plan a little bit, have a bit of an idea. And when you're using in the normal style journal, when you've just got the pages already just printed off and you know at least how the page is going to look, and then all you're doing really is adding ephemera and decorating, and that's quite, you know, sort of easy to do in a way. You can just look at pages, oh yes, this pocket will go there, or that tuck will go here, or whatever. But with this, no, Tina says it's one of her favourite style of journals to do. But when you've just got to create each page from scratch, it's just a little bit on the daunting side, I'm finding. But I think it'll be fun to do because, you know, it's all about collaging, and collaging is fun. It's just finding things, making sure it all hangs together really in a way that I like. So we'll see how it all goes, but so far so good. I'm quite liking the way this is going. And I already have an idea of something I want to make to tuck into my side tuck. That I think will be a whole video on its own. I'll come to that another time. Okay, so it's going to go there. And I will be using some fabric, you know, ruffles and lace and things as well, I think. I mean, I couldn't really do a journal without those things. That would not be fun for me. I do love me lace. You may have guessed. I do love a bit of lace. So there will be some of that. And I don't think that'll be out of keeping with the theme. Because it's my interpretation of the theme. So now we put on our little, I think I might just edge this a little bit. And across the bottom. So I'm just wondering if I should have cut this down a little bit. It's sticking out a bit too far. No, I quite like it there, I think. Right, let's just do it. Let's stick it on. What I want to do next is to sew around the whole thing before I do any further decoration. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to glue it at the top, do I? No. I do not. Because I think anything I put in there is probably going to have to slide in from the top, because I'm thinking of something fairly long. So I'm going to do across the bottom. I just think I need to keep the top open. I can always seal it up after, depending on how things pan out. It just gives me a little bit more room to expand. Okay. Yeah. I do like that. Okay, So we've just got a little bit of room if I want to. I haven't got anything to pop in there really at the moment, but it means I can have something going right in, but that might still need to stick out a little bit at the top, depending on how things work out. We will see. Okay, so I think the next thing I need to do is sew around it and, oh no, probably before I sew, I should probably do the other side. Do this side as well. Sew around it all in one go. Let's see how that pans out. Okay. Don't know what I'm going to do on this side. I've got this bit of lighthouse. I don't think that's going to go with that. Let's have a look in my pad. I'll see what I can do. See if I can do something with this. So I'm just trying to think how many pages I'm planning to do. I haven't really completely decided. That needs a little bit of sticking down, I think. I know I'm going to sew it, but it's going to be distracting if it's too flappy. Stick that down a bit. Let's see what I've got. Get this out of the way. What can I use? Oh, haven't quite gone down far enough. Let's try this, see what it looks like. There's a lighthouse and a boot. Just checking I've got the, yep. So that's the edge with the holes. That's what I've got to bear in mind. What else can I put on here? I want a bit of map, I think. Do I want a bit of map? Where's my bit of map? Here it is. I haven't got much left of this old map. Trying something out. I don't know how it's going to look. And a bit of map at the bottom. I think it's too busy. I need something something to calm it down in that bottom right corner, I think. So I quite like these two. Lots of mappy stuff on here. Could use a bit of this. This is a bit what's the word? More neutral. Just trying to think what I need down that side. I think I need something like that. And then a pop of the blue or something like that at the side, I think. Okay. That there. And that along there. Something, a bit of a contrast at the side. Now I have got a bit of, I just don't know how this will work. I've got this teal coloured tissue paper, which I'm wondering whether I can make a bit of a ruffle from it. I have done that in the past. On my scrapbook pages, I've just never done it on one of these pages. So, and that would make quite a nice little pop of colour down the side, because that's where the hole's going to be, isn't it? Yeah. Don't know how that'll work. Maybe a ruffle wouldn't be a fabulous idea. So I'm going to do one somewhere else. I just wonder if I can put a little bit of this teal down the side. Because there'll be a bit more decoration to be added. Really just doing a background at the moment. Put that there. So I only want a little pop of that colour. And where did my lighthouse go? There he is. But like that. So I might just do that. Just to instill a little bit of colour. Why not? Put it around that way. It's got a straighter edge there. I'm going to put that on first and go from there. Really have no idea how this is all going to pan out. And I know that's kind of part of the fun. also it'll be scary. But hey, it's only paper, right? It's only paper. There's plenty more where that came from. So I think this one goes on next. I need to give that a bit more of a jaggedy edge. Where's me? Where's my tail ruler gone to? Every ruler but the one I want. How does that happen? Go on. Oh, I think you spend half my videos watching me look at things, don't you? I don't know where I put that. I had it. I only just used it. Ridiculous. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to turn you. Okay, of course I found it almost immediately, but that's the way it goes. So I'm just going to tear across the top of here. Ooh. It'll probably be covered up. Let's just ink across this edge here. And put that there. So if I'd had time, I would have sewn around this on camera, but I spent so much time at the beginning of the video just going through all the stuff that I'm going to use, which I knew would take me a little while, that I haven't left myself really enough time to totally complete this, complete these 2 pages in the same video. So I'm hoping that will cover that. Yes, it will. Let's just ink along these edges. I can do I'll do around the outside all in one go, I think, and I'll do that off camera. And also I've got to decide what I'm going to do in the way of ephemera on here as well. Some sort of pocket. Not sure. Okay. And then I'll just put my little lighter up the side. And then we'll see where we go from here. It's just a relief to get started on this. It's been going round in my head for weeks. And it makes a nice contrast to the wedding journal, I think. Just something really different. Although I have already started work on my second wedding journal. And I think I may have mentioned, if I do anything different that I haven't done on the previous one, I might come on and do that on camera. But most of it I shall probably do off camera. There we are. So that's that page covered, and then we can come back and add extras to it in the next video. So this bit. I might do a bit of further decoration. Anyway, so there we are. There's the front of that page, which I really like. I like it's quite inviting, this little pocket. I could put something interesting in there. And then there's the back, and there's obviously some work still to be done on this. Let's trim off this bit of tissue. So, thank you very much for joining me for this new adventure. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.